Ever found yourself replaying a simple conversation over and over until it sounds like a court case? It's a common snag, isn't it? Overthinking is like that sneaky background app on your phone. It drains your mental battery without you even noticing. From minor hiccups to colossal what-ifs, this mental habit can escalate small concerns into towering mountains of stress. It's a universal experience, almost a rite of passage in the modern world of endless choices and pressures. If that sounds like a familiar script, you're definitely not alone. Let's unpack this suitcase of thoughts. What exactly is overthinking? And why do our brains love this exhausting exercise? Let's dive into the tangled web our minds weave. Overthinking is like having a mental browser with 100 tabs open, all vying for attention. It's the brain's way of trying to grab the steering wheel, driven by a deep-seated desire for control. We often overthink because we fear the unpredictable nature of life and seek to cushion ourselves against potential blows. Psychologically speaking, overthinking is our mind's attempt at risk management. By playing out scenarios, our brains are essentially conducting rehearsals for various outcomes, hoping to iron out any creases before the actual show. This might sound like a strategic move, but it's often just a ticket to a stress fest. Interestingly, this habit stems from our evolutionary need to anticipate and prepare for threats. However, in modern times, where physical dangers are fewer, this mechanism can go into overdrive, leading us to ruminate on everything from social interactions to email tones. So it turns out our brains are just trying to protect us, albeit a bit too zealously. Imagine if you could tell your brain, "Thanks, but I got this." That's mindfulness in a nutshell. Picture this. Every thought is a leaf floating down a river. Mindfulness lets you stand on the bank, observing them without getting wet. It's not about stopping thoughts, it's about noticing them without an invitation to the chaos. Now let's break down a simple mindfulness exercise. Start with focused breathing. Inhale deeply, feeling the air expand your lungs, hold it for a moment, and exhale slowly. Feel the rhythm, like the gentle ebb and flow of ocean waves. As you do this, engage your senses fully. Notice 5 things you can see. Maybe it's the color of the walls, or the way light dances on your desk. Listen for 5 sounds, perhaps the distant hum of traffic or the soft whisper of your own breathing. This practice doesn't require hours. Just a few minutes can anchor your thoughts firmly in the now. Mindfulness isn't just trendy, it's a pause button for your brain's runaway train of thoughts. Ever tried to not think of a pink elephant? Exactly, now you're thinking of it. It's a classic example of how trying to avoid certain thoughts only makes them more persistent. This phenomenon, known as the white bear problem, shows us that the more you try to push a thought away, the louder it knocks on the door of your mind. So, what's the trick to beating this relentless intruder? Distraction. But not just any distraction, purposeful distraction. Engaging in activities that captivate your mind can be incredibly effective. Picture yourself diving into a complex jigsaw puzzle, the pieces slowly forming a beautiful landscape, or losing yourself in a gripping novel, where each page whisks you away to another world. Physical exercise also plays a pivotal role. Whether it's a brisk walk in the park or an intense session at the gym, moving your body can shift your mental gears, giving you a fresh perspective. When you shift your focus, you starve the overthinking beast. Give your brain a schedule, because even your thoughts deserve a strict 9 to 5. Now let's talk about setting think limits. Imagine if you could confine your worries to just a small part of your day. That's exactly what setting specific times to think about your concerns can do. Allocating about 15 minutes daily to deliberate on your worries can effectively prevent them from spilling over and clouding the rest of your day. This technique acts like an appointment you make with your anxieties. During this time, allow yourself to fully engage with your worries, no holds barred. Think of it as a board meeting with your concerns. They get 15 minutes of your time and not a second more. Once the time is up, you step out of the meeting room. This practice helps in creating a mental boundary, teaching your mind that there is a time and place for everything, including worry. It's about giving your mind the discipline it craves and the freedom it deserves. When the time's up, tell your thoughts they're off the clock. If your mind's a stage, then let pens and papers be your audience. Imagine each page of your journal as a welcoming friend, eager to listen to every twist and turn of your thoughts. By writing down what whirls inside your head, you're not just venting, you're engaging in a powerful act of organizing and analyzing your mental clutter. Here's the deal. When you jot down your thoughts, you get a chance to step back and look at them from a different perspective. It's like laying out pieces of a puzzle on a table. Suddenly, what seemed overwhelmingly complex starts to make sense. You begin to identify patterns, triggers, and even solutions that were hidden in the chaos of your overactive mind. Keeping a daily journal can transform this practice into a habit, turning it into a reliable tool for mental clarity. It's not just about capturing events of the day, it's about understanding the emotional undercurrents that drive your reactions and behaviors. Turn those ruminations into ink and paper. It's less daunting when it's laid out in front of you. No single strategy is a silver bullet, but together they can form an arsenal against overthinking. Imagine Sarah, a graphic designer who often found herself drowning in a sea of what-ifs before every project presentation. By integrating mindfulness with set think limits, she crafted a routine that allowed her to acknowledge her thoughts without letting them spiral. Every morning she dedicated 10 minutes to mindfulness, grounding herself in the present. Then she set specific times to review her project concerns, limiting this to just 15 minutes. Or consider Mike, a college student overwhelmed with exam anxiety. He combined journaling with the art of distraction. Each evening he wrote down his fears and accomplishments, which helped clear his mind. Afterwards, he'd play guitar or go for a jog, using these activities as a deliberate break from his worries. These stories highlight how blending different techniques can create a tailored approach that might just be the key to breaking the chains of overthinking. Mix and match these tactics. Customize your own toolkit to combat overthinking. So, we've journeyed through the mind's mazes and equipped ourselves with tools to escape. Let's quickly recap. Mindfulness isn't just a buzzword, it's your mental pause button. Distraction? It's not running away, it's smartly rerouting your brain's energy. Setting think limits puts you in the driver's seat of your mind. And journaling? Well, it's like having a personal therapist at the tip of your pen. Overthinking is not an overlord, it's simply a habit that you can manage. Remember, the power to clear your mind is just a strategy away. Start small and watch the change unfold.